How's everyone doing? So I had some technical difficulties here. Facebook seems to have changed their process for doing these videos, so apologies for the delay here. But hey, it's a crazy time, so crazy things happen. I hope all of you are doing well. I know this is a really hard time to be in a business with cash flow, in a lot of cases, going to zero, having to lay off workers. We've really never seen anything like this. This is my third recession that I've been in business. The first one was when the tech bubble burst, and we had a huge bear market when that happened, which actually lasted for a very long time, one of the longer ones that we've been through. And of course, the Great Recession, 08, 09, which was really unprecedented times at that time. We saw a lot of the big banks go out of business. And I remember, really, really clearly just how bad that was. And now we have, of course, the whole coronavirus crisis, which is just a whole different thing, where we got the entire world pretty much shut down simultaneously here. We've never seen anything like this. And in fact, from a market perspective, it's the fastest decline we've ever seen in history. We've never seen the market go down 30% that quickly before. And I feel like at this point, I'm a veteran. I've seen some things, but man, in life, you're always learning. And we've really had to manage around a really quick, swift decline here and learning new things every single day. So, with our business, we've literally been on the phones probably 13 hours a day. So it's definitely a learning as we go type of thing. But as the old saying goes, with history, it doesn't exactly repeat. It certainly does rhyme. And I have to say, a lot of the emotional, a lot of the feelings and emotion around this market decline and this recession that we're presumably going to go into. I don't think it's confirmed yet, but it looks like we're probably going to go into a recession here. We don't know how deep that's going to be. But there's certain aspects of this that feel very, very much like Groundhog Day. Like, I've seen this movie before, and many of you can probably attest to that too, that have gone through some recessions and things like that. So I thought I have a lot of questions here, and I'll get to those. But Sean asked me to give you just my thoughts on the economy, the markets, and a lot of you probably are saving and investing and things like that. So I thought I'd just give you my bird's eye view here, where I think things are right now, what we're doing with our client base. Why don't we talk a little bit about the economy first? So the first thing with the economy is, look, it's like all of a sudden someone turned off a switch. So now you don't have anything going on the supply side or the demand side, or really we do have supply and we have factories and we have infrastructure for a lot of demand. And right now demand is just shut off. And as you know, the government came out with this huge stimulus package. It's going to be like $2 trillion, which is a very big number, by the way, which is great. And it's great to have that money, hopefully to help some businesses get through this crunch. But really, until demand comes back, it doesn't do a lot for businesses. It doesn't do a lot for the economy. It's really just a holdover here, which they needed to do. I actually agree with getting some sort of stimulus into the economy, but it's always a little bit too late. Obviously, they've already been bickering about what was actually going to be the stimulus, who was going to get the money and things like that. But that's normal politicking. They had the same thing with TARP back in 08 or 09, if people remember that. It always becomes kind of a political football. But I think what you have to think about here is life is going to go on. At some point, we are going to get back online. And it's going to be different really for every country, every city. Like, for instance, China right now is actually already coming back online. And I think that's a very promising thing to see. And then when you look at the USA, I'm out of New York City. I'm actually out of the city right now, thank God. Obviously, their curve, or the flattening of their curve, is probably going to be ahead of other places in the country, whereas Washington, which was the first hotbed, is further along in flattening their curve. So the light switches are going to come on at different times. It's not going to just be like one big concerted effort. It's going to take a while for businesses to get up and running again, maybe rehiring workers. So, it's going to be a process. And I think the thing I want to warn you against here is a lot of people are going to tell you they know right now. You have a lot of these economists, pretty much predicting what the rest of the year is going to look like. And I was on a thing called Cheddar TV today, and they asked me, you got to have an opinion about when the economy is going to recover. And I was like, I have no idea. The way I look at it is, well, the World Health Organization came out with a prediction that we were basically in a crisis back at the end of February. They announced that, look, this is an international crisis. And there weren't any economists at that point or any analysts that were revising their estimates or predicting that the economy was going to come to a shutdown. Now the market's down 30%. We've actually had shutdowns. Now every economist has an opinion. So how do they know now? And they couldn't project out, just less than 30 days ago how bad it was going to be. So, really, their opinions are probably as, your opinion's just as worthwhile as theirs right now. No one really knows. So I think, the thing we do know is things are going to come back online again. I always look at it too. If you're investing right now and you're thinking, man, I want to get into the market, you're in the market right now. Remember, you're invested in physical companies that back that paper that's trading every day on exchange. So I think right now is probably a very good time to be invested or get invested, but I would do it diversified. I wouldn't try to pick individual companies. You can buy exchange traded funds that invest in the whole market. No one's that smart right now to know which companies are going to, when the dust settles, are going to be the best companies out there. But I can tell you right now, there's a lot of smart CEOs. A lot of them are my clients, a lot of people that run businesses like yourselves that are making really good business decisions right now, whether it's cutting their overhead, getting leaner and meaner. And a lot of companies are going to go out of business. And a lot of these smart companies that are well capitalized are going to take advantage of that. And they're going to be buying some of these companies as they're falling apart, or as they essentially do go bankrupt, they're going to take their market share. So there's going to be a lot of winners when this thing's over. And instead of trying to be smart enough to figure out which are the winners are going to be, I call that a fool's earn. You don't know, but if you own like indexes or exchange traded funds that own the whole market, the companies that are going to do really well, they're going to rise to the top of those indexes because they're capitalization weighted. So just by owning the market here, you're essentially going to have the winners when this thing all plays out. There's an old saying by Warren Buffett, this is a low IQ business, not a high IQ business. So trying to be really smart here isn't the strategy that's probably going to win. I think it's the one that's a little bit more big picture. Getting diversified here is probably a good move. And just, if you're going to get money invested here, and this is a very blanketed advice, so I'd work with a professional, is I would just slowly work the money in to say, come up with a strategy for how that money is going to get deployed over the market if you have cash and are looking to get in, because we could have some more downturn here. We've had 2 big up days, which is great, but it's going to be very volatile here. And we say bottoms are a process. And there's going to be a lot of different news coming out, a lot of unexpected things over the next couple of weeks. So I don't know where the bottom is. This might be the bottom, but no one really knows. But I can tell you, if you're buying in here, you look back 24 months plus from now, you're going to be like, man, that was a great opportunity. The one thing I've learned from bear markets is the best opportunity to make money is during these markets, not when the market's up. At that point, it's really the money you invested it back when things were ugly and it was hard to get in, is where the wealth is created. And there's a lot of companies that are going to be really smart here, and they're going to make a lot of money out of this because they're making proactive decisions, which I imagine with a lot of you with your businesses right now. I know with our business, we are working day and night, but we are making proactive decisions, with our clients, making sure they're diversified, making sure they're staying invested, dollar cost averaging, like I mentioned. But we're also in attack mode right now. We're looking to really market right now because we know we have a very good strategy and we know people need advice now. So we're going to look to spend, even though with the market down, my revenue is going to come down significantly like everybody else, but I'm going to bite the bullet. I'm going to still spend more money on marketing right now because these opportunities don't come around very often. So you really need to take advantage of these opportunities when they come. I can't stress that enough. Whether it's with your business, whether it's getting invested for your savings for retirement, these are the times that you can really capitalize on if you're smart, you're unemotional, and you have a strategy. Without a strategy, it's just gambling. You might as well go, what we say here, down to Atlantic City and bet it on red. But with a strategy right now, just like in your business, with any sort of investing you're doing, my thoughts are eventually we're going to look back on this and make, man, that was a tremendous opportunity if I was smart enough to keep my eyes open and realize that right now is when wealth is created. So that's kind of my 2 cents on the economy and the market right now. And, from there, we can go into some questions. So I'm going to bring up the Facebook questions here on my phone. I'm getting so good at doing these video calls. I don't know about everybody else, but all of a sudden I'm like a ninja when it comes to Zoom. Facebook Live, they gotta work on that. This is not as easy to use, but I digress. So why don't we go to the questions here? The first question comes in from Michael Pliley. I hope I am pronouncing your name correctly. They asked, hi Sean, what are the steps you established company culture? I'm creating a culture for my employees so I can increase retention, which is a strong issue. An idea I had was a monthly luncheon. Would that be more of an employee retention or a company culture idea? I like that idea, and I think that's both. I think retention and culture go hand in hand. I can tell you right now, my advisors are talking to people 13 hours a day, and we're all remote. So one thing we're implementing right now is we're doing a Zoom check-in twice a day, one at 9 o'clock in the morning and one after the market close at 4:10. And I can't tell you, for those of you who have employees and you're trying to retain your employees, man, that's so valuable. And we do a check-in. I let everyone talk, let them know how their day went, what they're doing. And I can't tell you how much the camaraderie within our little business has just like completely gelled. And there's really just like there's a real culture there because of that. And when people have culture and they feel that they're part of something bigger, your retention rate does go up, and even money financially, you can hold people in. Maybe you don't even pay the best, in your industry. A lot of times people stay just because of the culture. In my experience, that's such a critical part of it. So retention and culture go hand in hand. And right now, if you have a team, man, do check-ins, come up with something, because you can, again, opportunity is created in these situations. You can actually make your culture better than ever right now, because it's when you're in these situations where you have to navigate through a lot of stressful situations and you're on point, you're leading your team, like that's gold. And I think a lot of leading is just listening, like let them espouse how they feel right now. They don't care how you feel. Well, they do maybe, but it's not your time to vent, it's their time to vent. And then just have your strategy. Always have your strategy. I can't stress that enough. Every day we see where the market is, we look at what our portfolios are doing, and we have a strategy we're implementing with talking to clients and just making sure on top of things. So I just want to amplify that. I've said it a lot already, but proactive, just think proactive right now. What can you be doing proactive, and, be able to articulate that into a very simple strategy. So love what you're doing there, Michael Pliley. Once we're able to convene again, a monthly luncheon is a beautiful idea. I think you should definitely do it. All right, the next submitter comes in from Jason Antonino, which I've heard from many times in the past. He asks, do you think the coronavirus will have a negative impact on real estate, such as housing prices or rents, or will housing be relatively unaffected? No, I think housing is going to be adversely affected here, absolutely. And you got to remember, illiquid things like real estate, the pricing on that stuff is going to take longer to go down. Now, the nice thing about the stock market is you get immediate feedback. It's a liquid market. The market right now is coming down big, and you might not see your real estate coming down as much. It's just because the real estate's not being priced. The stock market, you're getting instant feedback, which brings me to another point here, not to go off on a tangent, but the other thing is, as you're getting invested here, if you are getting invested, is the market is going to bottom before the news gets better. So anyone sitting here thinking like, oh, well, I'm going to wait until the number of coronavirus cases come down, then I'm going to get invested, it's going to be too late. Once the news is better, the market's already had its rebound. So, markets right now are discounting information way quicker than you and I are. So don't wait for the news to get better, because if you look at like the Great Recession, for instance, the market bottomed in March of that year. It took 5 more months for the economy to bottom. So the market was 5 months ahead of the end of the recession. So the same thing here. Now, going back to where that ties into real estate, is the real estate market's going to be in a lot more pain over a longer period of time, because it's more illiquid, because no one's buying anything right now. You can't even leave your house. Guaranteed with all the layoffs, rents are going to come down. They're going to get renegotiated. So if rents come down and the cash flow on your properties are less attractive, well, that's going to, by nature, bring prices down. And I can tell you, in New York City specifically, where the market's already been bad for 24 months, this is just going to make it worse. Not to sound negative, but point is, I think those prices are going to come down significantly. And I think the real estate market, which has really outpaced wages over the last decade, it has a little bit of pain to go through right now because people couldn't afford real estate even when things were good. Now imagine with unemployment is going to soar right now. And I think when things come back, it's not going to go right back to where it was. I think all that stuff is going to be in trouble for a little while here. So just keep that in mind as you're going forward. Sorry to be a buzzkill. Second question here from Jason is, I recently liquidated all my son's stock and bond holdings in his custodial account into cash. He will need the funds in about 16 months from now when he starts community college. What's the best investment vehicle going forward? Would a high interest savings account be the best? Well, a high interest savings account is kind of an oxymoron right now because I think high interest means you're maybe getting a percentage point. I don't know if you liquidate your stocks during this downturn, which I wouldn't recommend, by the way. If you don't need the money right now, don't sell into this. This is just a panicked market that we've seen here. But at this point, Jason, I just keep it in cash. I mean, you could try to get back in the market and things like that, but I don't think that makes sense. We don't know when the market's going to recover. It could take 24 months, and you need that money. There's nothing you can really put it into here that's safe. You could get something that's higher interest, but I would argue it's probably not that safe. At this point, I would just get the money, keep it available, keep it liquid, and then just pay it for the expenses you're going to have for college in 16 months. That's just not that far away. So that's my advice on that one. Okay, last question from Robin. Robin, as an artist who recently lost her cash flow, sorry to hear that. I'm hearing that all the time. I'm thinking about offering a collaboration with a restaurant I work with. My thought is to offer museum quality artist print to share while part of the proceeds are contributed to the restoration of the restaurant's business, working together to make tough times better. Please share your thoughts on this. Let me ponder this for a second here. So what you're saying is, yeah, I love this. I mean, I think this is a really creative idea to get your, it's kind of marketing for you in the sense that people get to see your work. I think donating for a good cause is a great idea. I mean, this is the kind of stuff you want to be doing here. It's like proactive moves. So yes, Robin, I think this is a great idea. And again, this just goes back to all of this right now. What can you be doing creatively right now to make some good proactive business moves while the world right now is in chaos? I mean, I think that's like where all the really good leaders are going to come into play here. There's really what I call there's your normal time CEO and there's wartime CEO. And I think right now the wartime CEOs are making some big moves and doing creative things like Robin here. So I think that's like wartime CEO stuff. That's great. I love that. And think about like what Robin's doing here is really creative. It's a good way to promote her brand and her business. There's so many smart people doing the same thing right now, and they're going to reap all the benefits once this economy comes roaring back at some point. So I really think right now, I can't stress enough, gang, this is where the best opportunity is. And I think all of you, just like you're analyzing your business, look where, you have overhead, where you can cut costs, but more importantly, where you can invest some money if you have it, and do things creatively where you can really start to promote and grow your business and get ready for when this thing actually goes the other way. Because I think it will come quicker than we think as well. Because the other thing is we tend to overshoot on the downside. It's just human nature. The market specifically, it sells off way past how bad things are. And then because we're such resourceful people, you're betting on human nature, especially here in the US. I have to say, resourcefulness that's our DNA. I just think there's so many people making really good decisions right now. And I think a lot of those people are you probably out there watching this right now and thinking and strategizing about what you can do right now. And that's just going to pay huge dividends. Just like during the Great Recession, so many great innovations and things came out of that. And there's so many companies that made their fortune when things were bad. So I just urge all of you, think about the same things you can do for your business, just like I'm doing for mine. And again, I do think this too shall pass, whether it's 2 quarters, 3 quarters, 4 quarters, who knows? But I think sooner than later makes a lot of sense. And I think when you're thinking about making decisions, whether it's investing in your business, savings, getting into the market, you got to start thinking, across the valley, what's it going to look like on the other side? And the other side is, in my opinion, is things are going to pick up steam very, very quickly. And a lot of companies right now that are valued very cheaply are going to be valued a lot higher later. So, right now when things are on sale, it's the old saying in our business, the straw hats in the wintertime. This is where the opportunity is. So hopefully that's helpful. I appreciate you guys giving me the time to speak. And if you have any questions, you can just put it into the invite section. I'll get back to them probably like later today for you. If you want to get a little bit more granular on things, I know I gave you a lot of broad strokes today. But I really like being in this group. I like being around other business owners, entrepreneurs, people that are really moving the economy forward, because it's us that really move the economy. 85% of people in America are employed by a small business. So really it's us. We're the backbone of this country, and it's the good decisions we make. We can't rely on politicians and things like that that are going to keep this economic engine running. And I'm very confident that we're all going to do that. And I think it's a beautiful thing. So just like we're on this call right now, moving forward, making things happen, that's the way we roll. So, all right, I'm going to leave on that high note. I'm going to try to do this every 4 weeks. I'll keep you guys posted. We're going to do some firm videos as well. If you really want to think about the economy, the market, and things like that, I'll put that invite up here in the accelerator group as well. So we're going to do another one of those video chats, which I put one up that we did before within my firm. So I'm going to be doing a lot of videos and things like that with our thoughts, what we're thinking here, what kind of strategies you should be deploying. So you can check those out as well. Everyone have a good day, and we will talk very, very soon. Thank you.